Liftoff.
Come on, let's go. Time for some more Race to a Million. ITIA, Interior Technology and Industry Association. That's a local high-tech group of business professionals that meet on a regular basis here in the city of Kamloops. Perhaps you have an organization like this in your community. Let's drill down a little bit more into what is a technology association, what do they do, why should you get involved if you're in the high-tech sector. Joining me now, that guy over there, you've seen him before, Peter Cameron Inglis, is the president of the ITIA, and this handsome gentleman is Jason Wassing, VP of the ITIA. Why don't we start off with the most obvious question. What is the ITIA's mandate? What do you guys and gals do?
Okay, the mandate of the ITIA is to move the technology industry in the Kamloops area to the world stage, to kind of push that forward and show people outside of Kamloops and inside of Kamloops what we're capable of doing. Well, Kamloops has a lot of really great technology companies that nobody really knows about.
Right.
I mean, and that's the kind of the secret, the best kept secret about technology in Kamloops is that we have all these great companies. I mean, we have everything from infrastructure, data center facilities, to software development companies, to hardware and manufacturing companies that make high-tech devices. I mean, there is a huge array of technology companies in Kamloops.
We don't want to keep it a secret anymore.
Yeah.
We want to let everybody know, hey,
Yes.
Kamloops has got all of this stuff going on. This region is very rich in very innovative, resourceful, and very successful high-tech companies. And we want to let the world know about that and encourage more companies to take a look at Kamloops as a great place to start an innovative company or have a division that does a lot of resource or research and development.
Right.
We've got great talent here. We've got a university that produces some phenomenal people that fit into the high-tech sector. And we just would like to have that sector grow much, much more, as it's already starting to do.
Well, you know, Jason touched on something that I found quite interesting. The fact that high-tech companies don't necessarily have storefronts saying, hey, we're a software development company or anything like that. A lot of them are behind closed doors, and people in this area may not know the depth of the high-tech companies that are doing great work in this region.
Yeah, absolutely. There's hundreds of people in our community that are in high-end, well-paid jobs, that live here, that play here, that raise their families here, that spend their money here in Kamloops. And it's a very significant contribution to our economy.
Thinking about the membership of the ITIA, what would some examples be of companies that are under the tech umbrella but not maybe traditionally thought of as a high-tech company?
Well, I can think of a few off the top of my head, but there's one that jumps to mind immediately would be there's companies in the consulting arena that do geotechnical work or geographic work.
Well, and there are several service-based companies that have now joined the ranks of the Interior Technology Industry Association, not because they're necessarily what traditionally would be considered high-tech companies,
right,
but they want to leverage the technology that's available today, the social media, the web marketing,
right,
the expertise and the knowledge base that's in the high-tech community, and transfer it to traditional business. And so the Interior Technology is about not just supporting the high-tech community, but supporting all of those other businesses that want to leverage high-tech for their business and, you know, create a more accelerated profit for their company and that type of thing. So these are companies like, we have people that are in the real estate business, both commercial and residential. We have people that are in the human resource and human resource management, career placement companies, headhunting companies. I think that you've recently done an interview with Kelly Auld, who's a member of one of the Race to a Million teams, and she does an onboarding company.
Right. But why would an individual business want to be associated with something like this? What's the advantages to getting involved with a group like this?
The number one thing in my mind, take a look at the successes that have already come out of Kamloops just in the last year or so, the last couple of years. VS Visual Statement, huge successful company, purchased by a company down in the U.S. They still have the company running here out of Kamloops, but it was built from the ground up, software development firm that focused on accident rebuilding reconstruction software. The company that I formerly started with my partner, Vic Kovacs, ASL Internet, built up, staff of 40 to 50 people, and it was purchased by Sun Media and Quebecor Media.
Right.
And it was another huge success that continues to run here in Kamloops. Many other large firms, iCompass, does a lot of work for the municipal government and that type of thing. We've got a lot of very successful technology-based and information communications technology-based companies here in Kamloops. And these are people with a lot of experience that are willing to share that experience with others.
There you go.
And I think that hits it right on the head. It's the whole sharing of information and sharing of capabilities. And people who are interested in sharing their ideas and sharing their thoughts will find the atmosphere very warm and accepting, right? The people who are members of the ITIA are always happy to talk about their success or talk about their problems,
right?
And really identify and work with other people to help them get through similar problems.
Right.
One of the things I find great about kind of the diverse group that we have is that no matter what you face, there's always somebody in there that's faced a similar issue.
Right.
You're never alone, and
Right.
that's one of the great things about it.
There you go. Okay, so we know why the ITIA is here. We know the advantages to members for getting involved with an association like that. Now let's talk about the foundational aspects of starting a group like this. Perhaps many of our viewers are saying, gosh, I like the way this ITIA thing sounds. We don't have anything like that in our region. Understanding that the ITIA is essentially risen out of the ashes of another group and essentially just started operations again in the last year or so, how would somebody go about starting a similar association in their area to take advantage of all of these benefits?
Well, the first thing you need to do is find like-minded people.
Okay. Find
other people that want to do and share in your idea. Definitely talk to the supporting governing bodies in your area. You don't have to do this alone. There are programs and people out there that are going to be willing to help you no matter what.
Right.
Talk to the right people.
The more successful the business community is, the more taxes are raised on a municipal level, the better the employment numbers look provincially or statewide. So there's lots of reasons for lots of decision makers and influential people to support something like this. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think another important point is that you mentioned that we've come out of the ashes of another organization. And you're absolutely right. And that makes an important point. You really need to be focused on what it is that you want from the organization. We started an organization many years ago called the Digital Valley, where we were branding the high-tech community within this region as kind of like Silicon Valley North.
Sure.
And the failure of that organization that spawned the creation of this new one a couple of years later really came down to not having necessarily the focus that we should. And that focus back then was just an organization to rally everybody together, but we didn't have a clear mandate. We didn't have a focus on, as we do now, growing everything from an entrepreneurial and business perspective and supporting everybody from that same perspective. It was it translated more into an opportunity to get together and for like-minded geeks to socialize. But that can only be maintained for so long, right? And then it starts to infringe on getting business done. And so after that disbanded, and it had been disbanded for a little while, many of us decided we still needed an organization, but one that focused on business and entrepreneurial growth and really making something happen for our region and our businesses.
Outstanding.
And that's where the Interior Technology Industry Association started. That was about 2 years ago. We started with a little bit more than a dozen members, and in 2 years we've grown to almost 70 members. This is in a town of 80,000 people. So that's a pretty significant membership of technology companies and companies that want to leverage technology. And we anticipate, or our goal, is to hit well over 150 by this time next year.
So it's all well and good to say that these things are good, and it's all well and good to say these are what we want to accomplish, but you know what? It's all about results. It's all about seeing something quantifiable that we can point to and say, see, it works. Proof, please.
Well, I think the biggest proof is probably the formation of the mastermind groups. Now,
Right.
the mastermind groups, which are an initiative of the ITIA, along with Canada's Mastermind Development Corporation, and that actually turned and spawned into the Race to a Million.
Ah.
So, proof is in the pudding.
Proof is in the pudding. When you get like-minded individuals together working towards a common cause, amazing things can happen. And very often, as in the case of Race to a Million, things happen that you never expected were going to happen and continue to happen too. What would you point to, Peter, as the proof is in the pudding for the benefits of being involved with an organization like yours?
I mean, I would echo Jason's comments. We've got a lot of creativity, a lot of drive, a lot of determination, and a record of success in this community. We've seen it with many successful companies that continue, whose founders have continued to share the secrets of that success with other entrepreneurs in the community, and they'll continue to do so. And we're still thinking outside of the box and creating new resources and new ideas, new ways of doing things all the time. The mastermind groups, Race to a Million, are a couple of great examples.
All right, so in the Kamloops area, if you want to get involved with the ITIA, the website URL is
ITIA.ca.
ITIA.ca. And as we wrap up this segment talking about high-tech community organizations in your area, can I ask a real candid question?
Sure.
Can these people call you to get some more information or insights about starting something?
Absolutely.
Or email you?
Sure.
info@racetoamillion.ca. He's Jason Wassing, VP. He's Peter Cameron Inglis, the president of the Interior Technology Industry Association, the ITIA in Kamloops. Have you thought about starting one in your area? You should. info@racetoamillion.ca. These guys will help you get started.